Welcome everybody to the Minnesota Twins franchise, episode 100. Thank you for supporting this series since I began it a couple years ago back on MLB The Show 17. It's been a really fun series to see how far we've come from the very beginning when Jason Castro won us our very first game on a walk-off infield single. This, of course, has been a rebuild series, and we go back to episode 7. That was the day Maxwell Fowler was drafted, and we've seen him play now for 2 seasons and seen the player that he's developed into. That's the draft that also gave us Gary Tadano. Then a couple off seasons later, the big signing of Paul Goldschmidt, and Dallas Keuchel comes to Minnesota as well. We've had some outstanding moments, a couple no-hitters. Here was the first one from Lance Lynn, a game that I really did not see coming. But 100 episodes into the series, we're starting to bring everything together. We've watched Miguel Sano become one of the best third basemen in the American League. Paul Goldschmidt has been the superstar we needed, and Byron Buxton just this season is becoming the player we're hoping he'd always be. He dazzles with the defense, but this season, it's been his most productive at the plate. This could be the Twins team we've been waiting for, a playoff version of the Minnesota Twins. We still have some work to do, and that's why in episode 100 here at the trade deadline, it's time to see what else we can make happen. The Yankees gave me a call and they said they want Byron Buxton. They offered up Gary Sanchez, who is an awesome offensive catcher, but there's no way I'm accepting a deal for Buxton right now. It's the trade deadline, our last day to make any moves. I've talked about trading Steven Gonzalez or other pitching prospects. Right now I like our starting rotation. I feel our 5 pitchers are having a really good season. It's the best our rotation's ever been. Aaron Loup was acquired last episode. We saw him make his Twins debut. I'm really excited about him. Maxwell Fowler, by the way, did you see he became an 87 overall? He has that A potential, and this year he has been able to mostly duplicate his success as a rookie. I feel we have a playoff caliber starting lineup. We have a new second baseman in Nick Gordon, and so far he's off to a good start. But our bench does seem to be really weak at the moment. Taylor Motter, Kurt Suzuki, Eddie Rosario, and I do need to get somebody else up to the bigs. So I looked at what we could possibly do here. Daniel Palka could always be called up. He is a really good lefty power bat. Ty Gonzalez really doesn't play good defense. I just didn't see anybody that would bring the impact I'm looking for the rest of the season. The Mets offered us Michael Conforto in a trade last episode. He's been on the trade block this season, and I'm really interested in him. He's a lefty, hits righties really well, he's 27, the defense is outstanding, and he still has another year of team control after this one. The Mets are currently a 500 team roughly, and they're likely to fall out of the wild card hunt, I would say. And I offered them Cole Stewart as the main prospect. He is one of our lower rated pitcher prospects, but he has really good potential, and he's 25. And there are a lot of teams who have interest in Stewart. My favorite offer was from the Orioles, who wanted to offer straight up Stewart for Joey Rickard. Rickard is another good defensive outfielder, hits lefties quite well. I thought he would be a fit, but I didn't think that he was as good as Michael Conforto. Conforto has better stats this year, better potential. Rickard's only hitting 205. I thought Adam Jones was also an interesting option. He has really good defense. He's 34, but ultimately his offense this year has struggled, and I expect that maybe after this season he is set to retire. So we go back to the Conforto option from the Mets, but it's going to take more players in the mix. I offered Cole Stewart and Jeremy Jeffress. That wouldn't be enough on its own, so I also offered them Eddie Rosario, who started for us in this series. It'd be a 3-for-1 deal. Rosario might still have some good years left, and this is the deal that I sent the Mets, and they accepted. So Michael Conforto becomes a Twin. We do give up a lot for him. However, Rosario and Jeffress weren't really in my future plans. So that made things a lot more comforting, knowing that if an outfielder gets hurt or needs an off day, we have a solid option coming off the bench. And again, next year he can be on a very reasonable arbitration salary. I did, though, want to see if there were any more moves we can make for the bullpen, and the Braves had a couple good pitchers, and they're not a very good team this year, so they were sellers. Sam Freeman stood out. I thought this right here was a very fair offer. However, I would have preferred a right-handed pitcher after acquiring a couple lefties recently. And that brought me to Arodys Vizcaino, who's been their closer this season, and he's been outstanding. And I thought he was the right addition for our team. Ultimately, their suggested trades were very reasonable, just one player in return, and they wanted Thomas Gunn, starting pitcher down, I believe, at AA, 72 overall. It's not very much to give up. Gunn does have a little bit of Major League experience, actually, back in 2015 and 2016. But this was definitely a deal I could not pass up. I thought maybe one more bullpen acquisition would do us some good, plus his contract is super reasonable. So we acquired 2 players here at the trade deadline. We get 3 in total, and I think we've done a pretty good job strengthening this team for a playoff run. I'm going to send Andres Valdez down to AAA, as he has struggled this year in the bullpen, and we just brought in a couple more pitchers I plan to use. I then called up Willie Ordonez back to the majors after a disappointing start to this season. I figured that he's already had his option used this year, so I can call him up and send him down as many times as I like. So there's nothing really to lose. We'll add him to the bench as an extra bat, and now the 25-man roster is a little revamped. A couple new faces there. Vizcaino, I liked him and Loop to be the setup men for Raisel Iglesias. Down in the minor leagues, we do have some players standing out. Steven Gonzalez has been having an awesome year. Ty Gonzalez, he might see an invite at spring training next season. He's definitely earning it now. And we'll continue on now into the month of August, opening the episode by dropping a series to the Texas Rangers. We win here on the day of the trade deadline. We can celebrate with a 9-4 victory, going yard 4 times, including Nick Gordon's first in the major leagues. Dallas Keuchel gets win 15. The next day, we lose a high-scoring game, 7-8. This is where the bullpen let us down. Raisel Iglesias blew the save. And with us bringing in some really good pitchers, I think there's a chance we pivot to a different closer at some point. Vizcaino obviously was closing for the Braves. Tony Watson was a closer. I think Iglesias needs to really shore it up if he's to keep that job specifically. We then lose our next game 7-1. Yadier Alvarez had a tougher start, but we do bounce back, shutting out the Seattle Mariners as Nick Gordon goes yard again along with Jorge Polanco. Nice to see those middle infielders provide the power as Foltynewicz gets win number 11. And the next day, a 4-2 win for Minnesota. We end up getting the save blown for them in the 9th and win it in the 10th. Gordon goes yard again. That's 3 times this episode. I wasn't expecting any kind of power from him, but he's replaced Josh Harrison, and so far so good. He's hitting .308 and 52 at-bats. I'm really impressed. Also, in those 52 at-bats, he has 10 extra base hits, 6 doubles, 1 triple, 3 home runs. So let's get into this final game, hoping to sweep Seattle in their building, as we have a few replacements in due to stamina and playing so many games in a row. So Michael Conforto in the starting lineup, and starting at the leadoff spot for the first time since last season, Byron Buxton. No easy task, though. We have to face King Felix, 10-1 on the season, playing so well as his career is not winding down by any measure. Buxton up here hitting over .250. That's a great spot for him with the defense that he plays, but Hernandez strikes him out looking to open up the day. Then it's Paul Goldschmidt 2-1, going the other way into right, trying to push that average back up and over 300. Miguel Sano up next, and Goldie goes. They were not ready for that. Goldschmidt is not your typical first baseman. He runs really well. And with a full count, chasing the changeup. No good. Sano strikes out. Charlie Blackmon in the cleanup spot today puts it on the ground and sadly grounds out, inning over. It was a battle of ace pitchers in this game. King Felix Hernandez facing Dallas Keuchel in search of win number 16. I'm hoping Dallas can win that Cy Young Award this season. He's been so good. Here's Garrett Hughes, one of the players that the Mariners are counting on as they try to get themselves to the top of the AL West, and he flies out to left field. It was a 1-2-3 inning for Keuchel with only 9 pitches. It also caught my attention that there were all these fans with yellow jerseys in one specific section. They all say King Felix. I was so impressed by this detail in the show. I didn't realize that this is a real thing for them. They have King's Court out there toward the left field foul pole. I think that's really cool and awesome that the show recognizes those kind of details. Here's Michael Conforto making his Minnesota Twins debut, and they shift for him because he's an extreme pull hitter, and he beats the shift. I love it. Base hit Conforto. Then it's Mitch Garver, whose offense has struggled a bit this season, sending one down the right field line, deep and toward the seats. It does get out of play. And 1-2, Felix sends him down on strikes. Bottom 2 for the Mariners, Mitch Haniger at the plate. 2-2 count, Keuchel with the fastball. It doesn't get the great velocity, but that doesn't mean it's not a great pitch for Keuchel. Let's advance with Taylor Motter getting the start today at third base. Miguel Sano DHing. 1-2 as Motter fights off the sinker, facing a former teammate as he was with the Mariners last season. He hits one up the middle. Routine play. Motter is retired, but it was nice to get a long at-bat there and try elevating this pitch count a bit. Overall, though, Hernandez, despite throwing probably more pitches than he would like, still wasn't letting us do very much on the balls we did hit. Not much offense in the early frames. Bottom 3, the slider inside. He's going after it, and Yan Gomes fights off one. Ends up in a good battle here with Keuchel, making him use a ton of pitches. And ultimately, we go to a fastball over the middle, and he can't touch it. One down. Here's Sean Coyle, who's on a hot streak lately. Down the line, and just foul by a couple inches. He strikes out as well. And hey, if you're going to strike out the first 2, you might as well strike out the Cy, Dallas Keuchel. Let's see those Cy Young votes go his way. Top 4 Minnesota, how about a 4-pitch walk to Miguel Sano? He'll take first base. Charlie Blackmon, 1-1. The last thing you want to see is one of these. 6-4-3, doubled up. Let's go bottom 4 with it. Here's Abraham Almonte for the Mariners. He's been their leadoff hitter. He's on a hot streak, hitting .292, and finds a pitch he likes from Keuchel and sends it out to left field and deep for a solo home run. Number 13 on the season for Almonte, and that was a good swing. I had to admire it, even if it was from the opposition. 1-0 Mariners. Then it's Melky Cabrera to the right side, and having to track it down, Nick Gordon makes the play. Shortstop is his true position. He's playing his secondary spot. And Keuchel is able to minimize the damage by striking out Addison Russell. Top 5. Here's Mitch Garver with 2 away, and he'll try to provide some action. This is a 1-0 fly ball out to left center field. Hit this pretty well. It's down and hits off the wall. Takes him a while to get the ball, so that's going to allow Garver to have a rare triple. Catchers hit triples too, I guess. It's the first of the season for Mitch Garver. Nearly tied the game. One more look at it here. Good power swing. Garver does have great pop, unfortunately, this year. He's only hitting in the 240s. Taylor Motter up with 2 down, and he'll try to drive in Garver, but he misses by a couple inches. 2-2 against Hernandez, and another battle. Had an 8-pitch trip earlier, and another one here. Payoff from King Felix. Misses upstairs, and Motter draws a walk with another quality at-bat. Here's Byron Buxton. 45 RBIs on the year, and we could use a key one against Hernandez. But a sinker low, untouchable. 2-2. Can't chase that. Had a couple bad chase strikeouts in this game. Hernandez shuts down the 5th. We're still scoreless. Bottom 5 for the Mariners, trying to get after Dallas Keuchel, and after a walk, they get a single. 2 aboard, 2 down. This is Zunino to the right side. He hit 174 coming into this game, but he delivers, and Conforto's throw is a bit late as the Mariners make it 2-0. All of this action with 2 outs, it did make me worried, but ultimately Almonte grounds it back to Keuchel, who nearly doesn't get the out, but he minimizes the inning again to 1 run. 2-0 Twins going into the 6th with Felix Hernandez pitch count at 85. That was a breaking ball that Goldschmidt was a bit in front of, and another hanging breaking ball. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities like this. I knew it was bad that we missed those pitches right there. Bottom 6, Keuchel trying to stay in the game. The pitch count was great, and look at Gordon. What a throw to first base! The defense from Nick Gordon is outstanding. I've been so impressed with him early in his rookie games. This is a hit by Polanco to the right side. He'll ground out. Just unable to make the contact we're looking for. Here's Michael Conforto. Pitch 100, driven out to right field, hit pretty well, but it's not really that deep in the outfield. Another 1-2-3 for Felix Hernandez. I still wasn't convinced that Dallas Keuchel's day should be done, even though he allowed the leadoff batter to reach in the 7th. We still get the double play, and the Mariners don't score in the inning. We'll go top 8. Twins running out of time. Taylor Motter having a great game, I'd say. It's not a flashy stat line, but the at-bats were solid. That single off pitch, 107. And then Buxton lines one up the middle, too. He'll reach base. A couple on board. Motter bluffs a run to third. And I was shocked if they kept Felix in the game. Pitch 110, right on the corner. I guess he's doing all right. 0-1. Oh, man. Pitch up. Could not hit it well with Goldschmidt. Infield fly. Now 2 down for Sano. Trying to get ahead in the count. Maybe draw a walk, but that's not going to happen. 3-2. Runners go, and that is lifted to right, but it's going to be safely caught. Can't get it done. Twins trying to keep it 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning as we do bring in Arodys Vizcaino, the brand new relief pitcher. Just wanted to see if he could get these last 2 outs. Runner aboard, and he goes with Garver's throw coming in late. So a runner in scoring position, and Vizcaino facing Almonte hits him. That was his first batter faced as a member of the Twins. 2 aboard, 1 down, and Melky Cabrera grounds it to Gordon. That's a 4-6-3 double play. And now our last chance in the 9th. We did have this going for us, though. We already made Edwin Diaz blow 1 save in this series already. So could we do it again and maybe get this sweep? Jorge Polanco up with 1 away, lifting this again. We had too many of these lazy flies going the other way. 2 down, it's all up to Nick Gordon, the rookie who's been impressing everybody to start his major league career. 2 away, he hits it over to short, it's playable. Gordon races to first, but he's a half step too late as the Mariners get the victory. Unfortunately, not a great game for us here in episode 100. It was a good pitcher's duel if you're into that. Dallas Keuchel did ultimately have a pretty good day, but I don't think Hernandez missed too many times, and when he did, we could not capitalize. He struck out 6, lasted 8 innings. We only got 5 hits. We haven't had too many games like that, though, this season, so they're going to happen, obviously. And that'll take us into our next series where we face Cleveland. They're only a game and a half behind us. We're hoping first place does not change hands anytime soon. And we'll continue August next episode. Still feel really good about where this team is at. Michael Conforto, by the way, becomes our 3rd most productive home run hitter this season. Raisel Iglesias now has the worst ERA for all of our pitching staff. We now have the 8th best batting average in the majors, the 3rd most home runs, and the pitching is getting a little bit better as well. We're a lot closer to average. We're ranked 16th. So things do seem to be looking good for the Twins. We just hope they stay that way. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed episode 100 here of the Twins franchise. Please leave your feedback below. What did you think of the trades? If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like. Those are always helpful. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And I'll see you again soon. Have a great day.